Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gaming Pubcast, episode number 20. Congratulations, Duncan. We made it to 20.
Double
Who would have thought?
digits. Although, no, still just double digits. Yay,
Yeah,
we made it.
I have to make it to 1,000 to get to double digits, but you
Oh,
never
God,
know.
blimey. My brain's exploded. Yes, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all good, And yourself? We
Good,
missed
good
you
to
last
be
week.
back. I know. I've turned into like a part-time podcaster recently. No, missing episode after episode. As you'll see, no Tom with us tonight.
Yes, poorly child, unfortunately, so we wish her well.
We do.
But yeah, so I think we'll still get a good old chat about everything that we know.
I reckon. I think we'll get on. We'll get on okay, Duncan.
Yeah, I
We
think we
seem
do.
to be able to chat all right.
Yeah,
Don't we?
we had about 6 episodes without him first. Did we get? I don't know how long he came in.
No,
But
yeah,
he's welcome back soon. Hopefully next week.
we do. Yeah, he does have like a unique collection of gaming, perspective of gaming. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
he's
like, games that you
definitely
wouldn't really have
the
played
retro
on.
expert, I think, of us.
He is. Yeah. Yeah. When I ask what you learned this week, I never know what to expect. Tom's about to answer his question.
There you go, Tom. You've got to, if you listen to this, you've got to find the most obscure thing, or just come out with like something really basic that Martin will just be like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, like
Something really
FIFA,
boring.
EA 24.
Yes, I've been playing FIFA, COD, and Madden. Yes. But anyway, so what have you been playing? You've got a couple of weeks worth of catching up to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very busy at work, so it has meant like in terms of gaming, I haven't been able to game as much as I would like to, Duncan. But I have played. I've continued to play EA. Just bring it back. So yeah,
How is
I
your
mean,
ultimate team going?
it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I've played it enough now, and well, I would say because there has been a big gap between now and when I last played one, and I mentioned sort of the differences in the gameplay last time, so I'm not going to bore people with that again. But what another thing I've noticed on Ultimate Team, it is a lot easier to build a good team without having to spend sort of real money, and I haven't spent real money on
Good.
it, and I've still got like a very good. Just by playing it enough, you can like get packs pretty easy because they have like objectives, and then they have squad building challenges where it allows you then to get better cards by like getting rid of other cards.
The chemistry high and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do, which I remember on the team I've got now is better than I've ever had in any of the previous FIFAs, and I've spent money
remember
on
having a friend once who was very much into Ultimate Team, and I don't know, it was certain years, probably talking 4 or 5 years ago at least, where it was people would always find ways of beating the system. So there was some years where silver players were better than gold players in Ultimate Team because some weird way that the game was programmed. And so, is there anything like that this year where there's weird things, or is it you get the best players and you can beat people?
Not that I know of. No, yeah. I mean, I think I would still say like it is good having good players, but it is more down to how good you are at the game. Like if I play someone, and I have played a lot of people who are just a lot better than me, it doesn't matter who they have and who I have. Obviously, when it's quite close between you, then it does make a difference in terms of the players you have. So I think they got that sort of that aspect right. That like if you do have better cards, it will improve your chance. But ultimately, it's just down to how good you are.
Yeah, I was never very good at all the skills. Yeah, the spinning round and the flips and all that.
No, I don't really ever use skills because if I do, I just mess it up. So I'm a bit of a bore. I try and pass it around.
Just like me in real life, if I try and do anything with football in real life, I mess it up. So I'm certainly not going to try it in a video game. So is there divisions that you're in?
There
So what
is, yeah,
division?
yeah. So there's
What are
Ultimate
you in?
Team. You can do divisions. Then there's like another mode where you can do like called seasons. I think it's called. So in Ultimate Team, I'm in. I haven't played that mode in Ultimate Team that much, but I'm in Division 7, which is I think it starts on
Is
9, so it's not
I
that
was going to
far.
say Division One the top, or was Division
Yeah,
Nine the top?
Division
Division
1's
One is
top.
the top.
Yeah, so it's pretty tough in Division 7. So I dread to think what it'd be like if I got any sort of further. But yeah, I don't play that mode as much. There's certain games that like when I was a child, I was a really bad loser. I won't. I'm not gonna like. And any game I used to play, I would get like the point where I was throwing my controller and shouting and like punching stuff and things like that because I just couldn't take losing. Which, as an adult, I have meadowed out a little bit, so I'm not as bad as that. But there are still certain games that bring it out, and I forgot that
FIFA has
FIFA
always
is
won.
one. Yeah, and there's times where I mean, it
Uh,
is better playing against real people, but than the computer. But then that's where I get more. Like, I don't. If I lose against the computer, it's not so. I don't know. I don't. For some reason, I don't find it as annoying. Whereas if I lose against someone, another human being,
yeah,
I get.
I had a friend who
Yeah.
he would literally one time he used to get so angry if he lost a game. I saw him the one time literally get an Xbox. This was on the Xbox 360, so it's going back a few years. He literally got the controller and put it in his mouth and ripped it apart with his teeth.
Wow. Yeah.
He was so angry, and I'm like, calm down, calm down. You know, it's just a game. And obviously, saying it's just a game is even worse, kind of thing. And he's like, ah, ah.
There's
So
been time where I
he should
never.
remain nameless, but if he is listening, he knows who he is.
Yeah, never got to
Um,
that bit. And there has been times though where I got my controller and I just want to throw it as hard as I can, but then I remember they're like £60 a controller, so I put it down and then I
they
like
used to be quite
step
cheap,
away.
and it's like, no, no,
Yeah,
can't
when I
throw
was a
that
child and like obviously usually your parents would buy your stuff like,
down.
but obviously there'd be a point where my mum would be like, we're not buying you another controller if you break that one, so you would be a bit more. But now if I'm going to like have to throw, I'll have a look to see where the bed is and I'll just throw it over to the bed because I know like see it have a nice
I mean,
soft.
I've never seen a game other than FIFA make people as angry
The
because
only other game that got
there's the
me.
Dark Souls, the Soulsborne kind of games. Obviously, that people makes people frustrated that they're dying a lot, but I've never seen anything except for FIFA make
Yeah,
people so angry.
it is something about the other game where I've also got like that was Rocket League, and I just maybe it's just something about a ball going in a net, but I got to the point where I just uninstalled that game in the end because it got me like I loved playing it, and I would just and it was like one of those games where if I started playing it, I just couldn't get off it because it was like really addictive gameplay.
Mhm.
But I would always come off it like feeling like usually if I come off a game, I'm feeling like a bit calm, relaxed, and felt like I've been taken away from like real life. But I'd come off Rocket League coming out a lot more stressed than when I went on because of. And I would do this if I was playing WoW and winning. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying it, so I'd carry on playing. If I was losing, I'd want to carry on because I was like, oh no, I'm going to carry on until I win. And I'll start winning again, and I'll just never come off because it was just a vicious cycle. So that was the only. So I uninstalled that one, but it's free. Whereas I can't really uninstall FIFA, so that's why I'm trying to play modes where it's less. It's going to less stress me out.
And the
So,
thing, yeah, you're a dad now, and also you have to buy your own controllers, so it does help to temper your your
yeah,
moods when
yeah, and
if you do
it's
lose.
not a good look when you got a 5-year-old and you're up there like you're
Daddy, what do those words mean?
exactly, yeah. It's like
Well, when a man and a lady love each other.
I remember my siblings used to take the mick out of me for my ways back in back when I was a child. But yeah, I've tried to. It's a bit embarrassing. It was embarrassing then. It was a lot more embarrassing as an adult. So yeah, but yeah. I remember like times where we'd been playing like Wii bowling, and my brother would get a strike on the last go to win, and I was just being like, "This, game
Just beep,
hates
beep,
me.
beep, beep, beep.
Trying to throw the controller, it'd be stuck to my wrist, and then I'll just be there flipping around.
I can just see it now. You tried to throw it; it's attached to your rib, and it bouncing back and hitting you in the face.
Yeah. So I've got more good memories with gaming, but
I've never had something that's I've got angry at losing a game, but I've never got angry to throw a controller or anything.
Yeah.
Touch wood. Now I tell you what does make me frustrated or angry when I'm getting older, when playing with 5-year-olds and in games, and it's like, no, you've just got to go over there, like push the controller forwards, and they go to the left. No, forwards. It's like it's right in front of you, and then like whatever. It's just frustrating, and they're only 5 years old, and so you have to be patient. But it's oh god, it pushes your patience when they're just not listening to the most, and they're doing the opposite. It's like they're walking forward, no problem. You go, excellent. That thing that you want is right in front of you. Boing, straight off to the left. No.
Yeah,
they know your buttons and they push them.
I got a 5-year-old daughter, and I brought down it was my Wii U, my PS5. I was like, try her on something like Mario, because it's like nice and she I was like you, so I was like, just go forward with Mario, like enter the castle, and she was like going around in circles, and then in the end I was like, this ain't working. Like, we'll just have to, maybe when you're a little bit older. But I mean, I can't remember.
My boy got to level 3 of the original Super Mario's. I got one of those dirt cheap, Chinese knockoff, NES emulators, and he got to level 3. Granted, he was on his last life and died within about 5 seconds of being on level 3. But yeah, I remember trying it on him a couple of years ago, when he was 3, and he couldn't even get past the first mushroom, or what they called Goombas. So there's definite improvement there.
Maybe I'll have another go with her and see how she gets on. But last time wasn't. And I felt bad because I was like, I know she's not doing it deliberately. But
be careful, because they're clever little things. They're clever
than you actually think. Anyway, what about you, Duncan? What have you been
playing? Well, I haven't been playing a Steam Deck. Because I saw your Facebook. Did you see my Facebook post?
Yes, battery issue.
Well, since I've had it, I've had a problem where what it does is the battery just suddenly goes, "You've got 0%." It's like, hang on, 5 seconds ago I was on 95%, and it goes, "You've got 0%," and turns off. Now, and then you'd go into desktop mode and you'd look at the battery health, and it would say your battery health is 15% or something like that. Not your battery charge, your battery health. And there was a fix for this, though. Apparently, I was going to send it back, but then I found a fix online. Somebody said what you have to do is you have to put it into the BIOS, which is turn it off, hold down volume up, and turn the power on. And when you go into BIOS, the auto shut off doesn't work. So it would completely empty the battery, and then all you had to do was fully charge the battery, and that would reset the battery health. And sure enough, it worked. So I didn't send it back. And now, obviously, it's 1.5 years old now. And it's just got a lot worse, where no matter what I do, it wouldn't reset it. Now, the Steam Deck works fine if it's plugged in.
Yeah.
So up until the day I sent it off. But equally, it's 1.5 years old. And I said to the Steam support, I said, it's technically out of warranty, but this has been happening since about a month after I had it. And I said it's a known fault that was happening. I said, and it's just got worse. And Valve, absolutely amazing, just went, yep, here you go. And try these couple of things. And one of them I tried and didn't work. One of them I'd already done was factory resetting. And they went, okay, yeah, send it off and we'll fix it or send you a new one. Now, there was a downside to this. I messaged them and said, I haven't got my 256 gigabytes SSD. It's got a 1 terabyte in it. If I keep that, it won't have a SSD in it. And they said, you need to put back the original one in there. And I'm like, I don't have the original one. So I've said, is there a chance I will get the original one back repaired? And they said, there's a chance, but there's a chance you won't, basically. They said it in a very professional way, sort of saying, we can't guarantee what you'll get back, basically. So it looks like I may have lost my 1 terabyte. And the unfortunate thing is, because mine is a 256 gigabyte, the only LCD one they're still doing is the 256 gigabyte. So I won't be getting an OLED as a replacement, I don't think, unless they're very kind and go, here you go, have an OLED.
Maybe if they watch this podcast, they might think,
maybe,
you know what?
maybe that would be
nice.
Yeah, I gave them a free 1 terabyte SSD. They can give me a free OLED Steam Deck. But yeah, so I'm expecting probably up to 3 weeks of it not being around.
So will you potentially lose the games that you would not your
actual
games, but the ones that you saved, or the all on
you have Steam Cloud, so my save games are all good. So I'm still playing through Baldur's Gate. I'm still playing through. Oh no, I just completed Uncharted 4, which is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And then all my emulated games on Emu Deck were on the SD card, so I've taken that out and kept that safe. So I should, touch wood, be able to just plug that in and have Emu Deck, or at the very least, just reinstall Emu Deck and all the games and everything will still be there, and I'll just go, here you go, use Steam ROM Manager to put them in Steam. And Emu Deck has a cloud backup as well, which I used for its save games. It just uses Google Drive or another cloud service. So touch wood, I haven't lost anything big. And you never know, they might go, yeah, just have an OLED. Oh, that'd be exciting.
That would be
unlikely, though, unfortunately, because it is a 256 gigabyte I had originally. And if they replace it,
it's going to be like for like.
It will be like for like, I think. Yeah, but no. So as I said, Uncharted 4, I've been playing that. I played through the whole thing in about a week and a half. And very good, very cinematic. And somebody told me that I probably did the wrong thing in starting at Uncharted 4 because I haven't played the others. And they said the others, if you go backwards, will just feel a bit outdated. Although they said that, I think it's Uncharted 2, I think is the best, so to speak. But yeah, so touch wood, I will go back and play them and actually enjoy them. But especially, I think somebody said the original one was definitely not as good if you go backwards. But I will find out at some point. I don't know. I'm still going through Alan Wake 2 as well. And me and Tom talked about this, I think, last week. I think, because we had recorded on Sunday. There's if you like rock music, and it is sort of cheesy 80s, melodic rock, but there's a whole section when you're controlling Alan Wake where it's basically a rock musical. It's not spoiling anything, so I'm not telling you what's going on, and you're just walking through these areas with massive video screens. Fantastic. I'm going to go on about it again because it was such a good moment. It's one of those moments that where in 20 years' time, I'll probably still be thinking about that. And that's why that game will be up here in my brain. Fantastic. Loved every second of that bit. It's not scaring me as much anymore. I'm getting a bit used to the jump scares.
You've accustomed to it now.
Yeah, and I'm sort of guessing where they are. And also I'm making sure I'm playing in with the lights on.
Yeah, always a good thing to do. Do you play it in the day as well, or do you play?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've just finished playing a little bit. I've actually got to the point of no returns at various points. Well, at one point in the game, you can play. There's two characters, and you can decide which one you want to play with at any time. You can swap between them. And what I did, I finished the whole of one person. I've got to their point of no return, and so now I'm just going through the other person's game. And there's two different kind of mechanics. The one is sort of in a town where you're. It's very Resident Evil sort of ish, where you go from one place to another, picking up this. Whereas the other one is in the dark place, and it's very much a puzzle, more of a puzzle game. So yeah, but fantastic game. Still probably definitely my top three of game of the year. But yeah, so in terms of game of the year, we had I don't think me and Tom actually picked last week when we were talking about.
Yeah, because I know there's the Golden Joystick Awards, wasn't there?
There was, which has Game of the Year for the Nintendo, Game of the Year for PlayStation, Game of the Year for PC, Game of the Year for Xbox.
And then an Ultimate one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, which I think Baldur's Gate 3 got the Ultimate.
Yeah.
But then you got the Game Awards, which is also coming out. They've got Game of the Year. Now,
do they have nominations?
I think me and Tom, we established that I had played 3 of them, and he'd played the other 3, or at least, yeah. So between us, we neither of us, I don't think, decided that we would pick one. We couldn't pick one really because we hadn't played all of them. But the list is Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So you're here this week. If you had to pick one, which ones have you played on that one? Is it just Zelda?
I haven't actually played that because I don't have a Switch, you see. So
of course, yes, you don't have a Switch, do you? Also, have you played any of those? Yeah, because you haven't played Alan Wake.
I played Resident Evil 4 about 20 years ago.
Oh, this will be the remake, though.
Yeah, I know. So... yeah, because Alan Wake, because I don't pay. I rarely pay for games. Hence why I'm a bit of a cheapskate. So a lot of these aren't.
If you were wanting to get rid of 5 of those games and you could only take one to your desert island, which one would you take? I think I'm going to guess that you'd take Zelda.
Probably would,
because you are a Zelda fan.
I am a very big Zelda fan, which people might think you can't be that much of a Zelda fan if you haven't played. But it would, if I had a Switch, it would be a game I would definitely have bought. That would, but yeah, I would probably would be Zelda. Though, like, to be fair, like Baldur's Gate, from what I've read, is sounds really good. So it's like
apparently there is an announcement about Xbox Baldur's Gate 3 coming at the Game Awards. They reckon, well, I think every single comment on everywhere that reported on this was shadow drop. That they reckon they're going to go, Baldur's Gate 3 is available now, and you can buy it. Or a big one would be you can get it now. It's on Game Pass. That will be a very big bit of news. But I bet you they've got a lot more money than they could have got it for if they got it.
Yeah,
before it released.
That leak, wasn't it? Where they could have got it for not a lot of money.
It was something like 5 million or something, wasn't it? And probably with its success now, I can imagine they're going to go, no, you can pay us triple that at least.
Yeah, Spider-Man. So I played the original Spider-Man, which was really good. So I imagine Spider-Man 2 is probably quite good. Looking at the
obviously for me, it would be a toss-up for those between Alan Wake and Baldur's Gate 3. I think just for the breadth of it and the freedom in it, I probably would go for Baldur's Gate 3. It's just so well programmed in that you can do what you want. You can find a massive story and just go, yeah, don't want to do that bit, or just kill the main character if you want. I got to a point where there's one of the big bads of the whole game literally invites you into a room and you can have a battle with them and kill them, and that's it. If you want to, you can do that. And that's the beauty of the game, is there's just a massive freedom. And I think the people that probably haven't liked it, which aren't that many, most people have, just it is quite difficult to understand that it's so free to do whatever you want and go wherever you want and whatnot. So
I'll be interested. If I was to guess, I reckon Baldur's Gate would get it.
I think so.
Spider-Man wasn't in the last
Legend of Zelda, people will have had people have been just had Breath of the Wild 2 in their heads, kind of thing. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, fantastic game. Again, Resident Evil 4 and Alan Wake 2, fantastic games. They're all fantastic games. But I think Baldur's Gate 3 will get that.
The only one, because I know I'm just basing that on the golden joysticks, because I think Spider-Man was released too late for that to be considered in the nomination. Hence why Resident Evil 4 was PlayStation Game of the Year. I imagine they would have gone for like an exclusive to PlayStation rather than Resident. I might be wrong. Maybe Resident Evil 4 was always going to be, because we'll see with Xbox it was Starfield, wasn't it? Which was the game of the year.
I mean that's been pretty much ignored in the Game Awards. Which to be honest, in Game of the Year, it's probably in my top 3. But Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 was so good that,
and they came out near this. Like Baldur's Gate 3 came out very close to Starfield, wasn't it? So
I think a couple of months before or a month before, something like that. And it was just
maybe it took a bit of its shine away.
and also, let's face it, Starfield is in a way the same as Skyrim, and that Skyrim was, I played it when it first came out and it was buggy, and there's a lot of things that people love about Skyrim that are actually they're like, but nobody uses vanilla Skyrim. Nobody plays it basic. Even on consoles, people are like, "Oh, just stick this on to make it look better. Put this on so the item management is better. Put this on so I get a whole new area to play in, and all this kind of thing." And in 5 years' time, will people be going, "Oh my god, I love Starfield because of this whole planet that somebody programmed into it"? And that's the beauty, I think, of the base of Starfield, is that I think the potential for it is good. Whether that potential will be realised, I think it's a long game. I think it's a long game, not a short game. But we'll see.
Maybe it's one of those long. It gets appreciated more over time than it does when it initially. I know I'm not doing the comparison because people have, and they are totally different games. But No Man's Sky, when it first came out.
Exactly, it was a disaster, absolute disaster.
And now it's probably as popular now as it was when it initially came out. Cyberpunk, when that initially came out, again because of the I didn't like it, but it gets a lot of love.
I mean, best ongoing game in the Game Awards is Cyberpunk. Best community support, Cyberpunk is on there. I mean, Cyberpunk has completely turned around. No Man's Sky completely turned around. I mean, I played Cyberpunk, but I played it on the Series X from launch date.
Me too. I had it on the Series S.
It worked perfectly. No problem.
For me,
I think I got one character was in T-pose once, and that was it.
I had one issue where I was in a level and I had to speak to a guy, and he was like stuck in a wall and I couldn't get to it. So I had to do the level again, which was a bit annoying because I had to do quite a bit of that mission again. But that was one thing, and other than that, it was And I thought the game was.
And yeah, I
Good.
mean, the thing is with buggy games, I've had things like, was it Watch Dog Legion? I haven't been able to finish that game because it was so Ubisoft games are so bad with quick resume. If you didn't remember to cancel the quick resume with Ubisoft games, then quite often a lot of those they just wouldn't save. They literally you go to save and it would either do a corrupted save or it would just go, no, you can't save. So Watchdog Legion, I kept forgetting to cancel it, and so I'd go into a game or or whatever, and this. And yeah, I think the last time I lost about 3 hours worth of gameplay, and I was just like, I'm not bothering to do that again. And I had the same thing with the Far Cry game, I think an Assassin's Creed game, and there's things like that. I never,
Yeah,
Obviously, it's only a
that's more
certain.
annoying than like, but unless the bug's so bad that it stops you from playing the game. Like I can.
Yeah, I mean, game
walk around
breaking bugs,
Yeah,
where you can't
but
play a game
rather
anymore.
than but if it's a bug where you're walking around and it's like a character with a head off or something like that, I'll just it won't bother me that much. But yeah, well done to Cyberpunk, well done to No Man's Sky. It just shows though, if like maybe if Gollum stuck at it, we might have had a match. Yeah, but
Well, apparently they've released a trial version of Gollum, and I'm like, really? Do you want people to actually play it? Because I mean, I haven't tried it, but and so at some point I may give that a try to see actually what all the fuss is
I mean,
about.
I would put it, if it was free. I would give it.
Yeah,
A go.
there's apparently there's a time limited trial or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's just on Xbox or just on PlayStation or PC or what. But yeah, so if I can, I'll probably have a go at that at some point. But yeah, why would you do that if your game has been slated for being really bad? Don't let people try it before they buy it, unless there's one particular bit that's really good.
Yeah, maybe they'll be like, this tiny bit of the game is actually pretty good. Let's let them try it, and then you'll buy it and regret it. I'll just have a look at the award categories, and I'm going to ask you for this one, Duncan, because it's so most anticipated game. So which one of these games would you most be? So Final Fantasy. I'm terrible with Roman numerals. What's V1?
16.
Final Fantasy 16 Rebirth.
Oh, 7.
That's
VII.
Is that 7?
Yeah, 7.
Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Hades 2.
Oh, Hades 2, yeah.
Oh, Hades 2, yeah. I've played the original already. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Oh.
And I played the last Like a Dragon. Star Wars Outlaws and Tekken 8 are the nominations. So out of those games, which one would
Star Wars Outlaws, I don't actually know what kind of game it is. I remember I've seen some clips of it or something.
I've seen some clips. Yeah, it looks a bit like a
but I can imagine it'd be good. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. But for me, obviously there are all the Yakuza games are now called Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
But I played the only one I've enjoyed is Yakuza Like a Dragon because it's turn-based combat, and I like turn-based combat. And it was hilarious. I mean, most of the game was pretty hilarious. It's just some of the characters in it. I still remember there was one guy that just liked to be spanked, and it was just really, really weird. This guy dressing as a baby wanting to be spanked or something like that, and and just that was just showed what it was like. But yeah, I love that game. Loads of mini games. So for me, Infinite Wealth, definitely. And apparently they've come out this week and said it's a humongous game. It's the biggest, it's the longest game that they've ever created. Probably because of all the ridiculous sub games. So you had everything in Yakuza Like a Dragon. You had go-karting, you had a business management, you had was it karaoke? But you also had arcades that you could go and play, and you could play Sega Rally and things like that. So
Yeah, I
so
know.
mini games are a big part of the Yakuza series, or as apparently it's always been called the Japanese version of Like a Dragon. It's not called Yakuza in Japan, so all they're doing is bringing it in line with Japan, where it's called Like a Dragon something, Like a Dragon something, but in Japanese. So now they're all going to be called Like a Dragon. Hence, we got on Game Pass Like a Dragon. What's it called? Like a Dragon, the man who deleted his name or lost his name or something like that. I don't know, but there's one on Game Pass right now. But that's one of the action ones, and the action ones I've never really got on with, although they have the same crazy mini games and whatnot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. What about you?
Either that one, because I from what you've just sold it to me there, Duncan. I wasn't sure at first, but I was like, now I'm excited for Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. If it wasn't that, Hades 2, I thought Hades, I really enjoyed the first one. I had it,
Yeah.
tried it on Game Pass, and it was though I guess maybe if I found more out about Star Wars, maybe that one. I've almost said all of them, haven't I? No. You asked me
I'm
what one.
anticipating. Which one are you anticipating? Yes.
I want. The only two I haven't said was Tekken 8 and not Final Fantasy. I've never been like a big Final Fantasy fan, but Tekken 8 as well. I am.
The problem with Final Fantasy Remake, I haven't played the Final Fantasy Remake, and people say, "Oh, but you can pause it and whatnot." Is I played the original one, and I love the original one. It's definitely a top game of all time for me. But it was a turn-based game, and as soon as I think in Final Fantasy 12, they brought in like the more action game, like fighting. I haven't enjoyed any of them, any of the Final Fantasies, and so that for me, they've just completely. For me, it's completely ruined it. Final Fantasy games, and I'm not interested. So, oh well. If people like that, great. I'm not saying they should go back to turn based or whatever, but yeah, it's not. I don't think it. I don't. Yes, okay. You update certain mechanics in games when you remake it, but that just completely changes it. So it's not really Final Fantasy VII, except for in story, which apparently they've changed various story aspects of it. I don't know. I haven't, as I said, haven't played it. Probably won't.
Like what you like, don't you, Duncan?
Indeed,
So,
indeed.
Not going to judge you. I won't judge you. But those awards are the 7th of December. So
Yes.
we'll
I'll be looking forward to, because the Game Awards generally are known for. It's not the awards they're known for. They're known for having announcements in their trailers. So it definitely going to have a Baldur's Gate 3 Xbox announcement. They have announced that there's going to be an announcement. So what else there is, I don't know really. There's a few that I can't remember have come out with various. We are going to be announcing this, or there's going to be the trailer for this. One thing I'm hoping for is more of an update on Fable. I want an update on that, because that's a game that, if it's anything as like the original series, very much looking forward to that. And I thought the trailer for it was hilarious with Richard Ayoade.
Adelaide. Yeah, Adelaide. Who am I?
Ayoade.
Yeah.
He and just the fact that they had the person kicking the chicken, and the farmer just looking at them going, ugh.
Yeah, just looking at some of the rumors here, but like they are rumors. So Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer is coming out in December. I don't know if
that is definite. We talked about that last week, I think. But yeah, GTA 6, they have announced that there's going to be an announcement in December. They haven't said when, but there is going to be an announcement. Could be the Gaming Awards.
I imagine Rockstar would want to have their own shine, wouldn't they? Rather than, but you never know.
Yeah, we never know. Yeah, it
Death
depends.
Stranding 2. Apparently
Okay,
that's
yeah.
in development at the moment.
Yeah, that's. I think I have seen a thing about that. Don't know where, but probably on a PlayStation thing.
God of War DLC is rumored as well. So if you're a
Okay.
God of War fan,
Ew.
Ghost of Tsushima 2 is rumored to be in development. So that could be again something they might announce at the Gaming Awards. Oh,
I haven't played. I haven't played, but I've only ever heard good things about that.
Very good. Yeah, it's very good. It's like one
Very,
of those.
very beautiful game. I've
Beautiful.
seen the videos of it, and it is a amazing look, especially the fact that originally it was on the PS4. Absolutely amazing looking game.
Marvel's Wolverine, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Entry expansion was announced in February.
Oh, so Elden Ring DLC, I presume that is.
The Outer
Yeah.
Worlds 2. I've never played the Outer Worlds, but I think that's is it similar
Yes,
to
I
No
think they
Man's
announced that in the big Xbox July thing. Instead of E3, basically, they announced Outer Worlds 2.
an
Should be good.
Xbox game.
It's Obsidian, so Obsidian have done fantastic. They made New Vegas and they made Outer Worlds 1. So not to be confused with Outer Wilds, which is that weird one that is like become a cult classic kind of thing, and I just couldn't get it. It wasn't for me, but it's got very, very, very good reviews. But Outer Worlds is the Fallout style sort of Fallout in space, so it's the prequel to Starfield, really. But it's not the prequel to Starfield.
Hellblade 2. I don't know if you played the original Hellblade on
I
Xbox.
did. And I've tried to complete it a few times. I just keep getting lost, and I know it's quite linear, but I get lost in terms of the puzzles. I'll be like, I don't know what I'm meant to do now. What I need a reminder of this is where you came from, this is where you were going, this is where the puzzle is. Stay in this area, because I'll start up and I'll go wandering for 10 minutes, and then I'll be like, why are all these doors open? Why is everything there? I realised I've gone backwards, for 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, God. So then I'll go forwards and I'll be like, am I meant to, what am I meant to do here? And then there's doors that oh, yeah. So fantastic looking game. Again, beautiful looking game. And the sequel looks amazing looking.
Yeah.
Um,
Xbox got a lot to look forward to with Fable, Hellblade. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin is a darker take on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
apparently.
let's hope they don't look like the previous live action movie Turtles.
So I'm having a look at it now, and it looks like it's not. Yeah, it looks like an actual proper
Is it cartoon?
game. It's not, no. But it does. Yeah, so it's like a darker take on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, and the Silent Hill 2 remake is in the works apparently. So, Tom would be happy about that. That's Tom's favourite horror game, isn't it? Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2, yeah,
I think it was Silent Hill 2. It wasn't the original one, was it? But...
no, but yeah, it's one of these ones where is it the original people making it? And then there was going to be the Kojima and Guillermo del Toro that PT was all about. And let's face it, if they make another Silent Hill game, they've got to make it fantastic, because otherwise everybody is just going to say you shouldn't have fallen out with Kojima.
Yeah.
So yeah,
don't fall out with.
Yeah, I mean he
did just Death Stranding, didn't he?
He's done Death Stranding, and I think his next game, I don't know whether it's multi-platform or whether he's actually or whether it's Xbox. I don't know. But
I remember he has been linked with Xbox, hasn't he? I see.
Yeah, I think they've wooed him quite a bit. But he's still doing Death Stranding too. I don't think he's going to stick with one particular console. I think he just whoever gives him the opportunity to have creative freedom. Which, let's face it, if it's a Kojima game, generally, yeah, it's going to make money. So I think they're all quite willing to throw whatever money he wants at them, whether it's Microsoft or PlayStation. So well, blimey, is that just us talking about? No, it's talking about Game Awards. I thought that was just us nattering about what we've been playing, but
No,
that
no.
was Game
We
Awards.
have
Game Awards.
covered a couple of things there. If it was just what we were playing, it would be a bit worrying. And it would be almost coming into the end. But there is like we were having a look at on this day, weren't we? Before
Yeah. So we were going to do
load.
about arcades, but yeah, no, we haven't got time for it. So we'll just go to that because there was one console, wasn't there, that you've owned. So you'd be probably more the expert. How many years ago was it? Ooh.
7 years, I believe. Let me just double check.
The Saturn.
Sorry,
I just spoiled it there.
No, 29 years ago.
29 years ago.
Not to today. 29 years ago, as of the 22nd of November. So whenever you're listening to this.
Well, this episode will come out on the 27th. So last week.
Yeah, last week, 27 years ago. No, 29 years ago. Sorry. But yeah, I was 5. Would have been 5 when it came out.
Okay, and that's when it came out. That's when it came out in Japan as well. So it probably came out. It probably came out.
Oh yeah.
A year ago, a year later.
I wasn't born in Japan, just to let people know.
Well, it came out in May '95 in North America and July '95 in Europe. So
it would have been Christmas '95 then when I got it.
I would have been 17 when it came out in Europe.
You were a man. You were a young adult.
I probably thought I was a man, but yeah, with hindsight, any 17-year-olds that are listening, you are not a man. Just enjoy being a child and enjoy. You are not a man.
I was 6 when it came out.
You were definitely not.
No, well, yeah. So I was I was barely a child. I was just coming out a toddler, I'd say. But yeah, I got older siblings, so because it was quite expensive when it first came out. I know that was one of the things why it wasn't as successful. Maybe we'll do a special show on the Sega Saturn, so I won't go to.
In the UK, it says, and this is going by Wikipedia. It says UK. It was £400, £399.99, which is equivalent to £818. So for those that aren't in this country, the current Series X is £450, like full price, and the Series S is £250. So the fact that that's equivalent to £818 in 2021 as well, so worth even more now probably, is pretty scary.
Yeah. So yeah, we got it, and it was a joint present between 3 of us. I felt a bit sorry for my sister because she wasn't really that into games, so she lost out a bit that Christmas. And because my brother, he was like the oldest, he chose, so they gave him the choice out of Nintendo 64, PlayStation, all the Sega Saturn, and he chose the Saturn because we had the Mega Drives before. And then I think he sort of realised after a few months that he made a terrible, terrible error because all his friends had like PlayStation.
Well, I mean, so if you got it that December, the PlayStation had only come out in the September before, so it was probably still quite expensive. But
it was a lot less, I think, than PlayStation.
It was less. It was £300, which three quarters of the price. But the thing is, I think I remember the PlayStation myself, and I'll happily admit that I was like doubtful because we were like, Sony, yeah, they do good hardware, but they're not a gaming company. And a lot of people like that. And it was only the fact that they had things like Tomb Raider that meant that they got success, in my eyes. Because Tomb Raider was an absolute revelation, having this whole 3D world that you could freely run around. But did the Saturn have Tomb Raider? I can't remember.
Yeah. There was Tomb Raider on the Saturn.
Okay.
They had like Resident Evil. Yeah, it didn't have as much third-party support as the PlayStation. But there was, there were like it did have Tomb Raider on it, and it had
And it had obviously had all the Sega games, so it had your Sonic, it had your
Sonic,
Virtua Fighter, Daytona, things
Sega
like that,
Rally.
didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't think.
and Resident Evil. Apparently.
Yeah, there's this terrible football game.
But they were ports because they were PlayStation games initially, weren't they? Things like Resident Evil, and because it was lower powered than the PlayStation as well, I think. So it didn't really last for very long. The Saturn. I mean, they stopped making it. Oh, blimey! Discontinued in 1998 in Europe and North America.
The Nintendo 64 came out in 1997 in Europe, so there wasn't that much. When the Nintendo came out, the Sega Saturn always was pretty much dead at that point. So,
Well, I mean,
my memories are. I had there's a few games that I remember playing. Like there was this terrible football game, which I won't go on about football games, but there was. And I found out there was, if you could run on an angle on the edge of the 18-yard box and shoot, you'd always score. So it was like,
yes. Oh, do you know what?
Bit of a bug in the game.
That sounds familiar. Oh,
I can't remember.
Not International Superstar Soccer.
I think it was like gonna have to
or Actua Soccer, maybe. That was on multi-platform, I think, wasn't it? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just looking up the PlayStation 1.
Worldwide Soccer. It was that Sega.
Oh, okay. Also, it's the Sega one.
Yeah, Sega game.
Well, the PlayStation 1 was discontinued in 2006. So it had another 6 years life after the Saturn. That's obviously, probably the manufacturing of it and whatnot. So, and then we've already had a Dreamcast special. It was succeeded in '98 by the Dreamcast because they were so worried that they knew the Saturn had failed and they wanted 3D hardware, so they brought out the Dreamcast, which we all loved. But do you have fond memories of the Saturn? That's the main thing, I think.
Yeah. What, me or
yes, you? You. I mean,
my memories of it are not. So it's quite, and not the can't think of the word. It's
not the best.
No, it's good memories, but
it's mostly because of it's not the gaming. It's probably more the fact that you played with your family.
Yeah, and we didn't have it that long until my brother got rid of it. So it was a memory, a good memory, but not a long memory. That's what I was trying to get at. So from when we had it, and there was another game we had called Loaded, which that was multi-platform as well. So you may have played it. But
I played that on PlayStation, I think. It was a shooter.
Yeah, it was a shooting game. Yeah. And I remember you would have to it was to do with colours on the levels. So you would getting rooms by getting red keys and stuff like that, or green keys depending, and then basically you just went around shooting everyone. But and then the Sonic game as well is the one I also remember. They had a Sonic game for the Saturn. But I remember it more you could go to the cinema on it. That's the one thing I remember about the Sonic game. You could go to the cinema and you could watch little pretend films at the cinema. So I think it was
there was apparently there was a game called Sonic Extreme which was planned, but it was meant to be the first fully 3D one, which it was cancelled in 1996, probably because the Saturn was already failing, was commercially failing. But the thing is with that, if they had brought it out, if it had been a good one, would it have helped it succeed? I think the problem was I think their 3D was not in the Saturn's
Yeah,
blood,
the
really,
one that
was it?
it was called Sonic Jam. It was, I think it was obviously it's like 3D, but like very cubey, if I remember rightly. But
Okay. Oh yes, I think I know that. Yeah, but not
yeah,
not,
it
not the
was,
best.
it wasn't the best Sonic game. No, it's not as good as the Dreamcast one.
No, I
That
mean
came.
Sonic Adventure was just. I mean, it's very much splits everybody. I think right down the middle. It's very much a Marmite thing. You either love it or you hate it. I loved it. I love Sonic Adventure. I thought it was a fantastic game.
But other consoles, because there was quite a few consoles. Xbox 360 came out 18 years ago on November 22nd.
Yes,
Which,
no, definitely the console time, ready for Christmas, isn't it?
no, it's they know when to release consoles, don't they? And Xbox One, the same day, came out 10 years ago. So
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we were saying about the Xbox series came out in November, but just a little bit earlier. So it's and the Nintendo DS, I think we saw came out in November. Another fantastic one, which I had the original one. I think I ended up giving it away actually because I had the original one and I gave it to somebody because I'm just that generous. Mostly because I just felt like I felt like I had a lot of money at that point. I didn't, but I just gave it to somebody. Really bit silly.
Game wise, November 23rd, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was released. So I think we were having a brief chat about that, weren't we? And because for some people, it is the greatest game that has ever been released.
Ever, yeah.
I mean, obviously, me being a Zelda fan, I do rate it very highly. It is not the best game for me ever because it's not my favorite Zelda game. So there's other Zelda games that I prefer. I mean, might be a bit of a controversial take, but it might not even. Well, now I'm saying it. I'm like, do I say it? But it may not even be the best Zelda game on the Nintendo.
But equally, we also chatted earlier about the fact that if you like something, you like it. Somebody can't tell you that you shouldn't like something. And equally, if you don't like something, that's fine. You're allowed to not like something. You're allowed to disagree with something. But with something like Ocarina of Time, the general consensus is it is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah. And in context, because of when it came out, it was for its time. Obviously, games have come out since, but I think
has there been a remake or a remaster of Ocarina of Time?
No. So there's like being like you can port it and stuff. So like Wii U, I've got the Nintendo 64 version on it. I think on the Switch as well. But yeah, they haven't done a remake of Ocarina of Time like they did with Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Link's in the Past as well. I think had a.
We'll see.
Minish
Cap, I think they did like they did a Skyward Sword as well on the Switch. They did a remake of that one. So yeah, they which is surprising considering how popular that game.
As a Nintendo fan as well, there's this week there's the Super Mario RPG. Does that tickle your fancy if you had a Switch?
I would give it a go. I think if I had a Switch.
I've
never played the original. That was
it was a SquareSoft game, so it was it was made by the people who do Final Fantasy. So the fact that it was Square and Mario working together just sounds intriguing. But I've like you, I've never played the original in any great way. I think I've seen the intro basically, and that's about it. But if I had a Switch, might be interesting. But again, it's getting the time to play these games, these really long games. when I've got so many things like Starfield to still complete for a second time, and Baldur's Gate 3. Although without my Steam Deck, I won't be playing Baldur's Gate 3 anytime soon. So, have you got anything to play this week? Do you think you'll have anything to report next week?
What I'm gonna, I want to try out the Alien. Is it Alien? The Fire Team. I think it's Alien.
Oh, Fire Team Elite.
Yeah, because on PlayStation Plus, one of my friends mentioned it.
Ooh, is it cross-platform?
I think it is cross-platform. Yeah, from what I've seen. So, yeah, he's messaged. I think it's a free player, and there's 3 of us, which makes it. And if there's only 2 of you, it will match make it, or you can play with like a computer in there as well. So,
well, it is cross-platform. Yep. So yeah.
Maybe we could.
Hey, if you do need a third person,
I will let you know.
I think it's still on Game Pass, and I think I actually own it on Steam as well, which I haven't got my Steam Deck again.
Yeah. Sorry. Every time you hear the kettle steaming, you start
Indeed,
crying.
Makes me cry a little bit. Well, it's got 2 of them so far. I know that from the UPS thing. So apparently Valve, although they've been very good in replacing it or repairing it, they don't give you any kind of update until they're sending out a replacement. And it's got to go from, I'm in the UK, it's got to go all the way to Prague, apparently.
Oh.
Although it literally, I took it to a local shop for a drop off, and it got to haven't, wherever that is, in less than 12 hours. So that's pretty good going. But that's UPS, so that's nothing to do with Valve. But I'm presuming that's
Have you ever returned a console before to manufacturer? Or is this the first time? Because I know, like back in the day, people used to send their Xbox.
PS2 was the only one I've ever returned, and that's because I had one of the original ones where the DVD laser, was a bit dodgy, and I got a DVD and that it was all green, and so I actually got into a massive argument in the shop I bought it from, because they were like, "Oh, you got to send it off to Sony." I'm like, "No, I don't." and of course, I phoned up Sony. It didn't have mobile phones back in the we did, but didn't really. It would have cost a lot of money to call Sony. So I went home, called Sony, and Sony went, "No, you take it back to the shop, and they can send it to us, and we'll replace it." And that was the law. That was So I went back to the shop and said, "Yes." Sony said that. Oh no, it was big to and fro, and eventually I went, "Do you want me to report you to the Office of Fair Trading?" And they went, "Oh, whatever. Okay, here's a new one." And then that one had the problem, so I just got the money back and got a Dreamcast, and then got a PlayStation 2 about a year later when all the problems had been sorted out.
Because you had the Ring of Death with the Xbox 360, wasn't it? When the
I never had that. Never had that.
Neither did I. Though I know a lot of people who did.
I know a few people, but generally, I think Microsoft were pretty good with that. I think.
Yeah, I think they
generally.
They don't care.
It was a known problem, but it was a low enough percentage that they were like, "Yeah, we'll fix them, we'll replace them. That's not a problem." And I think most shops knew that it was a problem. So if you did get it, you could just take it back to most shops, and they go, "Okay, here's a new one." Right. Well,
anyway, Duncan, we've
nattered for an hour as usual.
It's flown by though.
So a little thing for the viewers here or listeners is quite often we go, "Oh, should we chat for about 40 minutes?" And we always get to an hour because we just natter, or more I natter. I think last week I got a little bit tipsy because I was on Lidl's own bourbon honey thing, and I think I had one too many last week, so I might have been a little bit slurry. This week I've only had 1 or 2, so
well done. Responsible this week.
So it was just that third. I want to. but
Yeah,
third.
you
Is it
crossed
that
the
big, or
line.
was it that big? Yeah. So, but yeah, so we always chat for over an hour, and it's been an hour and 4 minutes. Just to let you know. There you go. So,
Okay,
I think everybody should like and subscribe.
I agree. I agree.
And leave a review. Please do leave a review, because we want to know what you think. Or
You want
do
them
we?
longer?
I don't know. I don't know. Do we?
How thick-skinned are you?
Leave a positive review, please.
5 stars or ignore it. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Interact with us. Feel free. Please
Yeah.
do.
Tell us what you think. Your favourite game of all time. What you thought of the Sega
Yes.
Saturn. What else did we discuss? There's loads of stuff in there that you probably got.
Getting angry at games. What games make you angry?
Perfect. Yeah. Is it FIFA,
Yes.
Rocket League, or something else?
Oh, so anyway, right. Well, it's lovely to have you back, and it's a shame that we haven't had Tom.
No.
And hopefully next episode it'll be 3 of us. Touch wood. There'll probably be a problem with somebody, but that's the issues of having small children.
You're the one constant, Duncan. So
I know it's a sad turn of events, really, isn't it?
you're the familiar face or the familiar voice of the podcast listeners. So no.
Oh dear.
Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, comment, all that.
Bye.
Bye.